Hey everybody, it is day 23 of our journey through self-discovery with our journal challenge. And today we are going to be talking about decisions. So, as you know, we've kind of moved through a different concept every day, and we've talked about so many things. And I thought that today decisions would be a good topic since we talked about coming out of bondage, we've talked about boundaries, we've talked about vision, alignment, communication, we've talked about support, we've talked about our tribe, we've talked about alignment, awareness, acceptance. We've talked about so much in the last 3 weeks. And so before we get into our word of the day, decisions, hey, Lori. Hello. I want you to, of course, take inventory of your day thus far. How was your day? What decisions did you make today to bring you in alignment with your vision, with your best self? I want you to think about that. You know, that is our daily question when we look in and take inventory of our day. And we need to start planning and preparing for the next day and think about, you know, today I did this. I'm going to make an adjustment on the next day to be better. I'm going to take advantage of opportunities and not look at them as obstacles. I'm going to take advantage of challenges and look at them more like chances. So let's just weigh everything out, okay? So today, like I said, we're talking about decisions, and we only have a week left of our journey. And so the next week, we're going to have concepts that are really more centered around what we have done with the concepts that we have learned about for the last 3 weeks. Okay, you did yoga this morning. Okay, Lori. Hey, I did too. Superstar, what does that mean? Okay, so let's think about decisions. So when we think about decisions, remember we're talking about having awareness around things, and we're talking about acceptance. The first day we talked about, not the first day of day one, but we talked about awareness on one day, and then the next day we talked about acceptance. We talked about looking at what triggers our emotions and exactly how we feel and naming the feeling. And I told you all to make sure that you're not saying, you know, I feel some kind of way. And so when we think about decisions, we have to think about the crossroads that we come to, because we're all going to come to different crossroads. And that's when we have to apply the concept of opportunity to see, you know, how can I turn this obstacle into an opportunity, or how can I turn this challenge into a chance? And I want you to start looking in and take some inventory. How do you make decisions? What is your decision making process? Do you even have a system? Is it usually rooted in let me think about it, or do you make quick decisions? Are you decisive or indecisive? You know, so start looking at that and start looking at some of the other concepts that we've talked about, and look at everything that you have that's offered, and know that you have to make decisions based on the best information that you have. And I kind of want to tie that into having regret, or, you know, when we're remorseful. Sometimes we make the best decisions only because what we know at the time, and presently we might be wiser, have more experience. And so in that, we can't really, you know, beat ourselves up or be too hard on ourselves, because we only had a certain amount of information available. Okay, and so let's also look at, I want to say, our tribe. Before we get to our tribe, let's look at some ways that we can be better prepared and make sure that what we do decide is in alignment with our life and our vision. And the easiest way to do that is to look in and to look to God. And so the easiest way to really tune in for God's voice in a clear manner is to pray and fast. When you're praying and fasting, when you are approached with something that is really hard for you to grasp, or maybe you have some anxiety or some fear around a decision, it doesn't always have to be something that is life-changing. I mean, sometimes we make decisions that, if we have problems making decisions, if we're indecisive, and we might have a hard time making a decision as easy as, do I want to apply for a promotion, or, should I change my eating habits? Something that is really not going to kill you, So just look at praying and fasting as we come to our, or put that in your decision-making process. And if you don't have a system, then that's where you can start, okay? So I want you to, that's pretty much your first question. What is your process, and do you even have one? And if you don't, then incorporate that. Okay, let's see here. Okay, also, we talk about our community, our tribe a lot. Now, this is why it's important that the people you spend the most time with really need to be in alignment with the same values that you have, okay? Because there are times when we are not going to be able to make decisions on our own, and we really want to, run it by someone else, and we look to the people who we love and care about and who we know that love and care about us. But remember, we have to have someone in our tribe that tells us the truth and love. And then you might have that person who's just a listener, because you might need to just kind of, hear yourself talk it out. But you definitely need to see if that's something that needs to be cultivated and nurtured within your tribe. Remember, when we talked about our tribe and community, we talked about what is it that I need to cultivate and nurture within my community. So think about that. Also, we're also going to look at when we think about God and divine direction. Sometimes we might get direction from another source when we're not even expecting, like that weird conversation, or that weird book title, and you're like, that kind of relates to what I'm thinking about. Or you might have this coincidental conversation with a total stranger, and they might, boom, drop you some insight on a personal decision that you had no idea, like, what? That was a weird conversation, or wow, I really needed that, things like that. So always be listening, tune in your ear. We have to see things from a spiritual sense, because when we see things always from the physical realm, we will miss out. And so that is where praying and fasting comes in, when it's really time to make those game-changing, deal-breaking, life-making decisions, okay? And so when we look at, I'm sorry, I think I missed our second question. No, I didn't. So what I wanted you to look at first, like I said, is to look at your system that you have for decision making, and if you even have a system, and look at the emotions that you have around it. And I want you to really take inventory and think about, over your life to the present moment, have you typically regretted the decisions that you've made? Do you have a lot of regret around the things that you decide? Or are you confident and calm when it's time to just, boom, say what it is or say what it's not? Think about that, because that's going to tell you a lot about yourself, and that's going to give you some insight on where you might need to do a little bit of work, and where you might need to take a closer look, and even go to the people you love and get some feedback on, what do you think? Am I quick, or am I confident or calm, or do you feel like I have a lot of anxiety and fear? Remember, you're talking to people that you trust, okay? Because as we move into being in alignment with our vision, and as we move into making sure that we are experiencing freedom and coming out of bondage. Remember, I told you that freedom is the opposite of bondage. And when you don't have boundaries set up, then you will not make proper decisions. Okay, so think about that. Think about asking and going to people that you trust. And that's going to bring us to today's affirmation, which is each crossroad brings a new challenge. Each crossroad brings a new challenge, and I am capable of dealing with whatever comes my way. And so that's about being confident. That's about knowing that we will have crossroads and there might be a challenge, but look for the chance. Remember, I told you, look for the chance and the opportunity and the obstacle, and know that you are already ready to go. That's about being confident, okay? So if you have not watched all the videos, we're on day 23. Make sure you text Journal 30 to 39492 so that you can get access to the past videos and the questions again without having to scroll through Facebook. And I'm pretty much almost finished uploading most of the videos to the YouTube channel as well. And once that is completed, I'll just send a link out for the total playlist so you can, maybe you want to binge watch or 30 days. They're only 15 minutes, or so a piece. So again, thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. I hope that I was able to share something with you today that will give you a little bit of insight into who you are and some insight on some things that you need to bring into alignment. And I will see you on tomorrow at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Bye-bye.